This is CHSR 97.9 FM here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada, and you're listening to Python's Paradise, your film and music show, and this is your host, Greg Gilbert, aka the Python Hyena. And folks, Blade Runner is celebrating 35 years, and you know, I've seen that film 3 times, actually down here at the university, including both...
Yes.
Yeah.
You've only seen it 3 times, that's it?
No, I've got it home. I'm talking about the big screen.
I mean, there are so many different versions. You could see it 10 times and still go back and watch it again.
Well, folks, I have the lovely, the beautiful, the talented Joanna Cassidy on the phone who played Zhora. How do you do, Joanna?
Hi. Hi. This is good. Speaking to New Brunswick, right?
Yeah, you know where we are?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow.
But I worked in Canada a lot, so I'm very familiar. It's great.
Oh,
I love
yeah.
Canada.
Well, Canada loves you. And Canada certainly.
I'm glad to hear that.
Canada certainly loves Blade Runner. I saw Blade Runner years ago down here at the university, and then that was the first time I seen it. And then I took back in 2000, I took 3 film courses, and one of them was a science fiction class, and they played both versions of Blade Runner, and we all agreed that the director's cut was the best.
Mm-hmm.
And I have since seen it numerous times on Blu-ray. So,
oh, well, that's more than 3. So I think you're doing all right. But there is the one the version which is the newest version, which is the one that I ran through the glass again after 25 years. So that one's out there as well.
Yeah. No, when I said I saw it 3 times, I meant up on like a public screening.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I meant. But yeah, what a landmark film, and it's just proof. As like I said this about films like The Big Lebowski and Office Space, and even Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, films that weren't financially huge successes when they first came out, suddenly find a big audience later. And of course, Blade Runner, like The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, fell victim kind of to E.T. in the summer of 1982, but yet both films have found a pretty loyal audience here in 2017, and Blade Runner is certainly a favorite to so many people, including myself.
Well, I'm glad it's recycling, and of course, at the end of 2017, there's going to be a Blade Runner 2, Blade Runner 2049. So that'll be really interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing that.
I'm looking forward to seeing it too. I mean, Harrison Ford is back, and is he going to be the only returning cast member?
I don't know. The script is a big secret, so I have no idea. No idea at all.
I know they got Ryan Gosling back and whatnot. I gotta say one thing though. I've read a lot on this book or on this film, and I got a big thick book on the making of it and little trivia. And you and
by Paul Sandman, right?
What's that?
I said written by Paul Sandman, film noir.
Yes. And I gotta say, you and I have something in common.
Which is?
Well, I understand.
Well, your name's Python, and I had a Burmese python. Is that what you're talking about?
Well, I love snakes, and I understand that was your snake in the film.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. You love them.
I love snakes. I don't. I don't own one, but I've always loved snakes. I find them quite fascinating.
Why?
Why what?
Why do you love them?
I don't know. It's been like since I was young. Like same with the spotted hyena. I find that a lot of people don't like them, but I find that they are creatures that.
No, but people that have them think a lot about why they have them. I'm sure you've thought about it.
Well, I don't own one, but I I find with the snake, it's when they're very active, it's fun to watch them, especially coil around things, and especially the way they hunt. For something that has no limbs, they are. I read that not only are they expert hunters, but they kill more rodents than birds of prey and cats.
I've read that. Yeah.
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 So very fascinating creatures, especially the really big ones. I've seen pictures of them taken, especially the African rock python. I've seen photos of it devouring an impala.
Jeez, really?
Yeah, and
That's a big snake.
Yep. And of course, I've seen them take out crocodile as well. So, yep, they're a powerful creature. But
really, I've never seen that. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, but
amazing.
Yeah, and of course, I could pick out so many great scenes in Blade Runner, but I gotta say that whole section that has you in it as Zhora is truly fascinating. Of course, Harrison Ford as Deckard is on the investigation to find the replicants, and of course, you're one of the really, really dangerous ones, and he finds it at a nightclub, and of course, you get into a little altercation where you outsmarted him and had him down. But I gotta say, the big scene where you're going through the glass, when he's gunning you down, I thought that was so beautifully shot, no pun intended, with the neon lights and the slow motion.
Well, it's that, but it's also the music that takes it into a whole other realm. It's a beautiful death. It's one of the best I've ever seen on film.
I agree. That scene there, was that was a double, was it not?
Yes, and that's what I'm saying. I came back 25 years later and reshot it.
Oh, so the 25-year part when you reshot it, that part was you, right?
That's right. That's what I'm telling you. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I did not know that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I said you have to get the most recent version.
You know what? I've got a great big thick Blu-ray of that's got 4 discs in it of of Blade Runner, 4 different versions, and I have got to really examine those.
I think you do.
So that's the most recent version. I'm gonna have to see if that was one of the 4 discs.
Okay.
So, how was the process for you to get the part as Zhora?
It wasn't that long a process. I met with the director, and I just told him that I had to be in it because I was the only person in town that had the snake. So that was it. And I read for him.
Yeah, did you? And of course, we don't see in the nightclub where you're doing the performance with the snake.
We never shot it.
You never shot it. Okay, we just have Harrison Ford's perspective. What was it like working with for Ridley Scott as a director?
One of the best times I've ever had. He really knew how to direct. You don't work a lot with a lot of those.
Yeah, he just
great directors.
Yeah, he just came off of Alien, of course, and following up Alien with Blade Runner. What a tremendous...
no, I think he did... Did he do Aliens right before? Okay.
Yeah, he did Alien 3 years before, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you got to work with Harrison Ford. What was that like?
I was very good. All he had to do was follow the cues. I put myself out there.
Yeah, how much of the stunts did you do? Like, you obviously did the fight scene with him, right?
Yeah, I did everything running over the cars except, and then when they shot me in the back, not going through the glass, but when they shot me in the back, that was a one scene take.
Yeah. Now, of course, in the movie, you're not interacted with any other of their cast members, but of course, we know through the past dialogue at the police station that 2 of the replicants fried, and 4 of you escaped. Did you have any interaction with Daryl Hannah or Rutger Hauer?
Rutger I hung out with, but I met Daryl, of course, but I didn't really hang out with her. Rutger was very cool. I hung out with him.
Yeah, I was going to say, what a great speech he gives at the end of the movie, and I discovered that was all improvised, and wow, like what a brilliant mind to come up with that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And of course, here's one thing when I took the science fiction class, one thing that I have brought up in class is that Deckard, on his hunt for the replicants, he never kills any of the males. He does kill the 2 females. And the death scenes between you and Pris, played by Daryl Hannah, both very brutal, but the way they were shot, no pun intended. Like yeah.
Well, that's right. He didn't kill Rutger, did he? Rutger just died.
Rutger just died. And he didn't kill Leon either. Sean Young got him. But he got the 2. Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, I was the only one in the class that brought that up, and just something that hit me. Are you looking forward to the new film?
Yes, I am. I am, actually. Denis Villeneuve, the director, is an amazing director. You must know his work. And I think he's going to do an incredible job with it.
What do you think of this 35 years later, where Blade Runner, not so successful back in 82, but yet gaining this massive, massive audience? What do you think here 35 years later?
Well, the thing is that we have Blade Runner now. Now life is kind of like Blade Runner, in a way. Not quite yet, but we'll see. I mean, how many years in the future? I was just born in June 12th, 2017. That's when my inception was.
Yeah.
So I have 3.5 years left.
Yeah, and you played the Killing Machine. And of course, you went on to do Who Framed Roger Rabbit as well. Talk about 2 really fantastic. I mean, you've done a lot of great work, but those 2 films really, really stand out. And what was it like working on that film?
Oh, it was a long film to shoot, 6 months. It was all brand new. There wasn't digital then. So everything was hand-drawn, and it was very complicated to do. Very complicated.
Yeah, it was.
We did half in the United States and half in London, in Britain, and it was a tough film. I'm glad that Robert Zemeckis stuck with it, because I'm sure they were trying to just wanted to throw his hands in the air and say, I give up. Because you had all these different departments, and, he had to run everything, plus he had to run, the political back with the studio. It was complicated. And he worked very hard.
Yeah.
So he got it done. I thought it was wonderful. I thought that it was more an adult film than a children's film.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
And I was a little disappointed that they didn't have more of Dolores in there. I know Jessica's quite fabulous, but I thought it should have been a little bit more of a love story between the bartender and, and our guides. So, but anyway, that's just me being an actress.
Well, it would have been.
And
Yeah.
so, it was not easy, but it was fun. It was wonderful being in London. It was just great, really great.
It would have been cool if they had have went into more depth with Dolores in the investigation to finding clues. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah, yeah. It can't be easy acting alongside of a creature that's not really there, but appears after the process.
Right. No, it wasn't easy, but we did it. We did it.
I thought Bob Hopkins was so good in the film. I can't believe he did not get an Oscar nomination for that.
He's good in everything. He was good in everything. An amazing actor. Amazing.
Yeah, we unfortunately just lost him not too long ago, but he had the facial expressions and all of that right down. Like he really got into character and was able to make you believe he was communicating with cartoons.
Oh, yes, completely. Absolutely, completely. But if you look at anything else that he's done, he was riveting as an actor.
Yeah.
So easy. It was like second nature. He was brilliant.
And of course, how inspiring to get Christopher Lloyd to play Judge Doom.
Yep, absolutely.
Coming right off of course, Zemeckis used him famously as Doc in the Back to the Future film. So he's another one of these highly animated actors that, like Jim Carrey, for example, he knows how to distort his face and whatnot into ways that are almost inhuman.
Right. Christopher Lloyd was just, I remember him on Taxi. He's just brilliant. Good man, too. Great man.
Yeah. And of course, we had some couple of really great voice talents in that. We had several great voice talents. Of course, Charles Fleischer voicing Roger Rabbit, and Kathleen Turner as, of course, Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And another film that you had done I'd like to bring up is The Late Show.
Okay.
Yeah.
Art Carney, Lily Tomlin. Fabulous. And Robert Benton, who was the writer-director on that movie. He was nothing short of fabulous.
Yeah, Lily Tomlin still working very, very strongly. I saw her, I think it was last year in a movie called Grandma, and I couldn't. Yeah, she was amazing in it. Yeah.
Oh, she's gotten stronger and stronger and better. Good for her. That's great.
What was your experience like working on The Late Show?
I loved Art Carney. He was a great storyteller. I did this a long time ago. Robert Benton just directed so brilliantly. We shot it in the summer. It was hot. We were in old Hollywood hotels in little rooms, dying of the heat.
Yeah.
And I don't watch my things usually, so I don't remember it, but I just remember it felt very good when I was doing it.
Yeah, I was looking through your credits, and I was quite impressed with a lot of the stuff that I had forgotten that you was even part of. Like Stay Hungry, of course, was early Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sally Field and Jeff Bridges.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You remember your experiences from that?
Yes, some of them. Jack was very quiet then. He would go off into his own space. The rest of us hung out together. Sally, not so much, but all the Ed Begley Jr. and Arnold, and it was great. We just had a wonderfully fun time. And we were like a little circus group.
Did you guys have any idea that Arnold Schwarzenegger would become what he is today?
No, hardly. Not for a second. Mm-mm. Neither did he. But he must have had a dream.
Yeah, things happened for him. Yeah, 1982 when Blade Runner came out, he did Conan the Barbarian, which was, of course, launched him into Terminator fame. So, and then the rest was history.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you were up for an award as well for Under Fire, where you get to work with Gene Hackman, Nick Nolte.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. What was that experience like?
Well, honestly, all I can say about these experiences is that they were sort of otherworldly for me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't used to being around movie people. But, when that started to happen, it was pretty magical. To get to work with Gene Hackman, my God. And I worked with him twice.
What was the other film you worked with him on now?
Under Fire and The Package.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You I was wondering, you give us a little bit of your background. Obviously, you didn't come from a film background, huh?
No, not at all. Not for a second. No, I went to school to study fine art, and I really wanted to be a scientist. It was all kind of.
And how did you break?
It's hard to say how it happened. It just sort of did. Maybe it happened out of necessity. I could say that.
Yeah. What was it like for you when you first saw yourself on screen? Obviously, like that first premiere.
Well, that was terrifying. To this day, I don't watch my work, but I have to say that I was young, and I was very young. I was modeling. And at the time, I was making my own money, which thrilled the heck out of me. I loved that more than anything. I was married.
Mm-hmm.
I was married from the time I was 18. So when I got a divorce and I came to Southern California, I was on my own, and I was taking care of myself in a very, very good way. I was very productive. I loved that part of my life.
That snake you had in Blade Runner, was that the only... have you owned snakes all your life, or just at that time?
No, just that time. A little bit before then, and then I think I ended up having about 6 of them. I had children too, so they were very interesting. It's like a scientific study.
What got your interest in purchasing a snake?
I didn't purchase that snake.
Oh, you didn't?
Given to me.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's given to you?
Mm-hmm.
I've never owned a snake, but I was wondering how difficult or is it to keep a snake when they get to that size?
It's not, if they're nice.
Was he?
It depends on how you take care of them. Any animal's a better animal if you treat it nicely. My animals always got treated really well, so he was fine. It was Darling was his name. He was a great snake.
Yeah, it's interesting too because Harrison Ford had worked with snakes in Raiders of the Lost Ark. I think he's done more movies with snakes than with leading women.
Well, can you divide the two?
Well, I can't, especially when they're as lovely as you are.
I'm kidding you.
There are a few more movies I'd like to ask you about because I know we're getting late here and we're both anticipating snowstorms here, but and I do appreciate your patience. I really, really do. But I gotta say, Club Paradise I had down here, and of course we just recently lost Robin Williams, and we lost Harold Ramis not too long ago. What was they like to work with?
Well, Harold Ramis was great. I mean, he really understood comedy very, very, very well. And so did the producer, whose name I can't think of at the moment, but he really got comedy. And everybody that was the Canadian group, they were all there, and they're all like SNL people, Saturday Night Live. Oh, yeah, I mean, who are they? You should know.
Rick Moranis and Eugene Levy.
What were they called? Can't remember their names. But
SCTV.
yes, there you go, SCTV. Right. Anyway, they were brilliant. They were brilliant. So funny. Adrian is still working. We still compete for jobs in Canada. Andy Martin.
Oh yeah, Andrea Martin. Yep.
Yeah, and she is phenomenal. Just one of the funniest women I've ever met in my life. She's really great.
And Twiggy.
Twiggy? Yeah. Twiggy is there. She's wonderful. She was great. Absolutely great. Her daughter must be grown up by now. I'm just thinking about it. Yeah, it was a good time. It was a really good time.
And of course, Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. You worked with Christina Applegate, who I think has the most gorgeous eyes in Hollywood, I think.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah. What were you?
God.
What's that?
I think she was adorable.
Yeah, and that was kind of branching her out from her Married with Children days to still being, still being a teenager, but yet trying to branch it out into more adult roles. And even over the past few years, it's great to see her still doing physical comedy, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And you worked with Vampires in Brooklyn. You got to work with Wes Craven, who we recently lost, and Eddie Murphy. Was that an exciting experience?
No, Eddie didn't talk to anybody.
Oh.
Nope. Would love to say that it was. It wasn't exciting. Pretty much to himself. But some actors are like that. They're very quiet and want to be left alone. So, but it's an interesting role for him. He certainly is a talented man. Very smart guy.
What was it like working with Wes Craven?
Oh, I worked with Wes twice. And, we were born on the same day.
Oh, wow.
Not the same year, but the same day. And, oh my God, he was such a gentleman. He was fabulous.
I've interviewed quite a few actors who worked in his movies. They've all said that he was very down to earth, very soft spoken, and really understood his actors. And of course, you worked with John Carpenter, of course, with Ghost of Mars, another one of the great horror film directors. Yes,
that's true. I did.
You have any? What's that?
I said John is an interesting, eccentric guy. We had fun. Look at some of the careers that took off. Look at, oh my God.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
What is his name? Let's see, Natasha Henstridge was in there. And what's the Brits guy that played this? He's terrible. I can't think of his name. He's in everything now. He's in everything. James Bond. What is his name? Help me out here.
Just a sec. I'll click onto it online here, and I'll get a hang of it here. I'm trying to. I know Ice Cube was in that.
Yeah, he was in that.
But he's not British. But we'll.
Name starts with an F.
Let me see. we're going to get her here in just a second. I'm typing her in. Ghosts of Mars. Here we are. Okay. Oh, Jason Statham.
Yes.
Holy
It
cow!
was like one of his first jobs. Huge now. Huge.
Yeah, I hadn't seen Ghosts of Mars since it was in theaters. I forgot Jason Statham was in that movie. He's been in so many other movies that.
Oh yeah. Stratham, you say. Stratham.
And of course, another credit that had listed here was Night Games, which you did in '80 with a young Cindy Pickett, pre Ferris Bueller's mom.
Yes. Well, that's probably a movie not worth mentioning.
Oh, you didn't? I haven't seen that one. It's just one that I kind of wrote down as a standout.
One thing that was connected with it was Roger Vadim directed it, but it's okay. You don't have to run to see it.
I'm trying to think. I know that name.
Roger Vadim?
Yep.
He was married to Jane Fonda. He directed Barbarella.
Okay, there we go. That brings it back. You hear these names, but you don't see much of these people now. Although it is kind of nice to see Jane Fonda back in the.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, back in the saddle, yes, and it is good to see her. Very good.
So, what are you busy with now? I know you've got something you've been busy at. You've been, as I said when I messaged you before I actually got you on the phone, I know you've been very, very busy in New York doing, was it like a play or something?
It's Odd Mom Out. It's a comedy, a scripted comedy for Bravo.
Okay.
And this is our third season.
All right. Yeah, I don't. I don't watch television home. I just have my my television set up so I can watch my desk.
Tell your audience about it, and we'll be fine. And you can pick up on it someday.
Yeah. So tell me about your role in it. Whet my appetite.
Upper East Side, bitchy, awful mother to two sons. One's rich, one's poor. They're married to very different women, and you sort of see how New York comes apart at the seams.
Yeah.
Very funny. Written by Jill Cardman, who's a really incredible woman. She's got more things going on in her life than I can possibly imagine. 3 children, a husband. She writes books. She just had a one-woman show. She's got a radio show. She's writing. She just wrote, 10 different shows for the third season of Odd Mom Out, and everything is going along super.
Yes. So, I was wondering, after this, you got any projects coming up in the future?
No, not at the moment.
Not at the moment.
Things can change.
Right now, you're from Los Angeles. You're just in New York doing this right now, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Anticipating a snowstorm. That's kind of got everybody exhausted.
Oh, not me. I'm not even thinking about it. I'm so relieved to have any kind of coolness coming from California. Feels great to me.
Yeah? Snow don't bother you at all, huh? No. We had a storm here back in February. It was so deep it went up to the locks on our car doors. So it was one of the worst ones we've had in recent memory. So I'm hoping this one that's supposed to hit tomorrow night into Wednesday, I'm hoping it'll be the last one we have until spring.
Whatever the earth needs, we have to give it to it.
I suppose you're right. Well,
Well, I think I'm going to trundle on now. It was great talking with you.
Yeah, it's been pretty long day for me. I've been in here for several hours, but I'm really glad I was able to make the connection with you, and you know, I'm glad that you was able to come back on the phone and chat with me this evening, and you know, I hope the interview was good for you, but we're so.
Let me know when it comes out, and you can send me a copy, huh?
I'll send you the link, and as I said, eventually it'll end up on my YouTube channel after that. As I said to you before, I'll use a headshot or something to go along with the audio, and I'll send those links to you. You know, I loved you as Zhora. I think you were wonderful in that film, and I think you're wonderful in a lot of films, but I always picture you with the snake and Zhora and going through that glass. That was so beautifully done, and we sympathize with the replicants, and we most certainly sympathize with you in that film.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I was wondering if before you go, if you would mind doing a plug for my show.
Where?
Just state your name and say you're listening to. My name's Greg Gilbert, and my show's called Python's Paradise, and I'm in New Brunswick, Canada.
Okay, well, that's a lot. All right, let's see what happens. We're recording now?
Sure.
Hi, this is Joanna Cassidy. You must listen ahead to Greg Gilbert with his show called Python Paradise, and he's in New Brunswick, Canada. Have a good night with him. Bye.
Joanna Cassidy, thank you so much for coming on here, and God bless you, and good luck with everything in the future. It was a blessing and an honor to talk to you.
Right. Okay. You take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.